Alright, what is up, you beautiful people? And welcome back to another Abathur weekly brawl tier list. Looks like we have some mercenaries this time, and we have Bountiful. I love it when there's Bountiful, boys. So, brawl modifiers, mercenaries here. I think we have our hybrid over here. I think if we upgrade one of the chambers, you will automatically upgrade the other one. And we have some other units. We have some Terran mercenaries for us to use. So I'm just gonna go ahead and upgrade both of those. And I'm gonna send out some roaches to get the middle income. But then Bountiful here gives us double income, which is gonna be pretty good. Looks like we're against an Arcanus. Oh, little baby lag here. Bunch of photon cannons, and I think it's probably a Kerrigan that we're up against. I think we're actually straight up facing a Kerrigan, because Kerrigan has creep. I don't think I don't think Abathur's units have creep, do they? No, they don't. They don't have creep. There we go. There we go. So, anyways, I'm gonna keep this on auto cast against Kerrigan. Huh? What do I have to do against Kerrigan? That'll be interesting. Yeah. Let's see. I just gotta think about this a little bit. Because I do have access to some Terran mercenaries. But the Terran mercenaries don't scale well into the late game. Oh, there's a Marauder there. The Marauder's gonna beat me up a little bit. I basically want to be auto-gassing. Like, not having middle income, I guess, doesn't really matter as much because the gas kind of just makes up for it. And the Marauder Commando, or not the Marauder Commando, the what is this, Hammer Security isn't really that great. I wonder if I should go Dusk Wings against Kerrigan, because I think Siege Breakers might struggle. Actually, Siege Breakers do a lot of damage, so they probably won't struggle. I don't know. So I'm gonna go grab one more roach, and then we're just gonna go to tier 2, I think. Maybe I'll get adaptive plating. Yeah, I'll get adaptive plating, and then we'll just go to tier 2, and then we'll figure it out from there, boys. That's about it. Man, I just had like this super delicious but fatty treat. I don't know if you guys have ever been to an Asian bakery store, but this is like a staple of Asian bakeries. So it's basically just like it's like a little like bun. So imagine like a Subway sub, but instead of like this, you know how the subs are like pretty hard and like baked, right? Imagine just like soft bread, okay? And then there's like it's cut right down the middle, from the top, yeah, so that you can like sort of pull it open. Imagine like a meatball sub, or like you put meatballs in there or something like that. But this is like a sweet thing. So it's like there's like some coconut, I think, flakes on it, and then like just some straight up whipped cream on it. And I was like, man, that's gonna cost me like half of today's calories. Did I do it? Of course I did, boys. Of course we ate it, boys. Oh man, it was delicious, but yeah, we'll have to watch out. So Kerrigan's bought a bunch of Marauders. I don't know if I can beat Kerrigan with well, let's get a gas here. I don't know if I can beat Kerrigan with just Ravagers though. I would like to experiment. I just want to save up my Air Force units, because the thing is, it's like, I would love to buy Siege Breakers, but I think Kerrigan can just run me over with her Ultralisk. So then it's like, there's no point. I don't know what's the best unit, right? Because I know Abathur can definitely handle Kerrigan's Mutalisk. And I can probably use Vipers to handle Kerrigan's everything besides her Ultras, basically. So, I don't know. I'm going to see if Ravagers can help net me a victory here, and then we'll go from there. I got the Corrosive Bile and everything, so I'm going to have one full line of Ravagers going this way first. I think that's going to be a good idea. Warhounds here, going to be quite useful. There's some Banshees over here. It's not great. Observer. Oh my god, they focused down the Observer. I can't believe they've done this. I can't believe you've done this. But yeah, I think the hammer securities are going to start losing out to the Ravagers. So I'm not going to be really too, you know, banged up about constantly losing these early waves. Like this huge comeback potential, and because there's Bountiful. And I've, you know, made good use of it so far. Yeah, not gonna be too bad, boys. You gotta... Has Vega always been yellow like this? With like all her gear and stuff? I feel like that's a glitch, boys. Anyways, there's some flying hybrid coming out. So yeah, anyways, if you're really try hard and you want to win this week, just tell your team to slam down the tier 1 hybrid all at once. Like tier 1 hybrid. You can just, because you can buy the most of these hybrids, and then they just act as DPS. I'm really annoyed at Minx for not having some answer to these flying units. Like, it's really annoying that I have to deal with this. And yes, it's basically just an additional problem that I have to deal with. Anyways, I hope he's gonna buy something in answer to those. I mean, he shouldn't really have an excuse right now, because he can just buy those Vikings of his, or just buy Vikings from the Cantina. But yeah, I think his strategy is just to let them push in to the supply bunker that has currently one specialized boy in there, and then I don't know, maybe that one specialized boy will take out the Banshee. Actually, no. Oh, he's got. Oh wait, those are Archons, by the way. So Archons are gonna lose pretty hard if the Sky Fury lands. If the Sky Fury lands, that is. Oh, I have mends, by the way. I have not been using them. Let's mend it up here, boys. Ah, Kerrigan, you've bought some Broodlords. So you have chosen death. Alright, Kerrigan. You want to fight me in disguise? That is death, boys. I think I just... Okay, well, I know what I'm getting. Okay, so Kerrigan's Mutalisks are quite lethal. Her Devours will be I mean, her Hell's Angels will deal with my Devours, like, decently. But yeah, let's slam down some Devours and let's see what happens. Devours will definitely just eat those Broodlords up. Maybe not with like the quickest attack speed. So I might just have to help him out here. So that's why I just wanted to save my energy, so now I can just, boom, pop up 3 Hell's Angels like this. And then that should be quite lethal to those Broodlords that she's got going on. And if Kerrigan even thinks about trying to fly against me again, we'll show her Abathur air, boys. Get her back on the ground, you know. So yeah, so the hammer securities are all dead. Boom. That's it. Can you? I hate these guys. These guys gotta land. Like, they don't land. Oh my god. Getting them to land just caused like 5 million lag. Anyways. Oh man, Nova just sniped everything I had, but that means Tychus is gonna have a great time here, because now Tychus has got some tanks. I think I would actually just buy Marines on Tychus. I don't know. It just helps add to like the size of his wave. You know, because Tychus got a baby wave. He's just got himself and like his outlaws, and like that's it. But you add some Marines in there, and suddenly you just mix up the entire equation a little bit. Honestly, I'm really excited to play with the mercenaries with Alarak, because Alarak and Marines are actually cracked, boys. That reminds me, I gotta try and get my Alarak build done for the coming week. I have yet to actually get anything put together for it. I just have not found the time this week so far, but you know, I guess we'll have to find the time today. Otherwise, what else are we gonna be doing? Anyways, there's a lurker. Oh, that's a question I can easily put to rest, boys. Lurker meet Brutalisk. Probably Lurker meet Brutalisk. Now then. I'm wondering if I should just slam Marines, actually, against Kerrigan. It's just like that. The Marines will be kind of bad against Ultralisk, but they might not be a bad option at all, because they can deal with some of the air units and soak some damage. Kerrigan's only AoE is her Ultralisk. I don't know if I have a real answer to her Ultralisk, besides just more Ravagers. And hold on, what's the attack range of the Ravager? 6. Marines have an attack range of 5, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's doable. And the Marines don't take bonus damage from the Lurkers. Neither do the Ravagers, though. I don't know, I'm debating, because I feel like it's almost always better to just grab some siege tanks if I can have a wave survive. But you know, it's like the potential, right? I don't know, boys. I'm gonna fill that out and then slam some more down. But then I guess I got just filled my air with Hell's Angels. I think this week with Abathur, Hell's Angels is gonna be critical. Just because like Devourers kind of get outmuscled by Hell's Angels actually a little bit, because Hell's Angels have superior range. So if your opponent just builds them and like whatever air unit they have to like shield them, they might actually beat Abathur air this week. Oh, I have gas. Let me gas that up. And oh, let me juice you up, boys. Let's juice you up over there. That guy's only got 9 kills? Preposterous. How? Anyways, we got 4 Hell's Angels over there, so they're trying to really fight off those Vikings here. But yeah, so I can probably just like, because Kerrigan's committed like so many units to Marauders. Yeah, I think it's fine. Like I have 3 Hell's Angels and 2 Devourers. That's more than enough to fend things off here for now. My wave is punching hard into Novas. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna grab a few tanks. Let's I'm gonna slam a tank right next to here. Center mass. Actually, maybe I'm not gonna slam tank center mass. Center mass is called getting run over by Ultralisk. And the tanks also level up based on your weapon level, so that's pretty good. Boom, boom, boom. I went tier 3 just for Brutalisk, and I don't have one right now. Like, nice meme. Anyways, I'm gonna get some more armor. Hey, those are Mutalisk. Well, I know what to do against those. Anyways, my tanks on the side here. Wow, those big hybrid have just been DPS down so quickly by the Ravagers. Wow, but we kind of lost in the skies there actually a little bit. Boom. Yeah, we did lose the sky fight here. And Nova's wave is gonna make my tanks disappear. But anyways, I think a few Vipers should solve this problem that we have. The Vipers will basically make it a non-problem, I think. And that's a Liberator. Artanis has so many Banshees. And like just lots of feedback coming in. That's the thing. I think Karax will also be pretty good this week because of that. Because Karax doesn't have an anti-armored air unit. But you can give him the Hell's Angels and then have, what should we call it? You can have some units to tank for it. Also known as the Mirage. The Mirage can tank for it. I think that'll actually not be too bad. There's another Giga Hybrid Kerrigan sending out here, but I mean, she sent out 2 Giga Hybrid back to back. How does she have that much energy on her thing? Oh, she does have that much energy. Why would I just put 4 of them down instead of just 1, you know? But yeah, the Giga Hybrid aren't really going to do much for you. Not at this point. So I'm just going to slam down 2 more tanks here. I think I'm going to commit hard to the tanks here. I believe in the power of Abathur Air, boys. Abathur Air is pretty strong. I'm going to grab another Devourer here. It's just Devourer's only weakness is its only weakness is its tiny range, but like it'll shred Mutalisk pretty nicely. And I could just get in a Leviathan. There's no one who does bonus damage to Massive on their team. Like a Leviathan's only weakness will be like a bunch of Hydralisk. That Viper just grabbed that Banshee and it got completely obliterated. And you can see the Mutalisks are flying into my Ravager Blast as well, so it's like game over, boys. And then like I have enough Devourers right now that they're tanking pretty nicely. And then I can probably drop a Mend here, so my wave is still at least a little bit topped up. Pop us up a little bit. Help out our Tychus here with our tanks on the side. Oh man, the Banshee's getting grounded is going to be the best thing ever. That tank just got a load of kills, boys. And then I'm going to slam down another Viper over here. Another Viper over there. Spread your boys out over there. Put another that, and then I don't know. This whole front part is just open to do whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. But yeah, it's just an inevitability that we're gonna win, I think. I mean, Kerrigan's also not using her most powerful anti-air ability, which is like the rupture thingy, her blast, disruption blast, which would actually be very helpful, you know, in preventing some of my air units from doing as much as they are. Anyways, the arc-like shot cannon on these tanks does 100 damage flat, so it's ridiculous. Just absolutely crazy. So I'm just gonna level up my weapons, and yeah. Nova's wave has just been turned to mincemeat. This is why you don't buy the Marauder. At least, not the Marauder mercenaries, because the Marauder mercenaries just get demolished here. Nova's anti-air will be a little bit better, I think, because she has some Hell's Angels, but at the end of the day, she's gonna be struggling, boys. I haven't even used my hybrid, boys. Let's just slam them down. I have 5 hybrid there. I couldn't even use all that money. Okay, actually I probably could have if I just like used it a little bit earlier. But yeah, yeah, I got 5 hybrid coming down. That'll probably end the game. I'll be honest. Level up my armor, level up all my weapons. Screw it, boys. Level up all my armor, all my weapons. We got a death stack of tanks here. Nova's wave's coming in. Oh, Nova, you better be prepared, boys. We got our Giga hybrid coming in. They're getting a little caught up on the tanks, but that's okay. I'm gonna drop a mend right now. I got 5 hybrid coming in, so good luck with that, boys. There we go. Yep, those 5 hybrid are just gonna barrel right through. That's how it's done, boys. Clown can't build anti-air. I mean, yeah, as Kerrigan, you're kind of just like, please help me. That, or you, I think this week, honestly, you could just lean into Mutalisk, like, just like go for it. I guess against Abathur, the Devourers will kind of mess you up, but like, I don't know. I feel like it might be better to go for it this week than compared to other weeks. Anti-air doesn't really exist too much for Nova unless it's mechanical air, and like, who the hell has mechanical air? Oh wait, there's Banshees here. Yeah, okay. And then, I mean, Artanis was doing a good job, I think, with the Archons versus Banshees. I didn't even do the most damage here. Tychus popping off right now. Actually, I think she did not do the most damage on my team, like in terms of like a units killed either. Well, I guess it's not too bad though. All right, let's go on to the tier list. All right, what is up? We are back. I just listened to my own video and I was like, we're gonna introduce our thing. Let's go. Brawl modifiers. No, sorry, not brawl modifiers. Game plan. We're gonna talk about the brawl modifiers, overall strategy ranking, commander rankings, and you know the deal by now. So if you guys, if you guys don't know the deal yet because you're new here, be sure to drop a like and a sub for more Direct Strike content every day, boys. And let's get into it. Brawl modifiers, just a little recap. We have Mercs, which summons powerful one-time use hybrid. We have Bountiful, which grants us double income. And we have Hill's Cantina, which allows us to hire some strong Terran mercenaries. So what is the strategy this week? I think you want to use Terran mercenaries to complement your commander's weaknesses rather than play up your commander's strengths. Because your commander's already going to do their strengths well, and the mercenaries, you're only going to get like a handful of them as like, you know, so you're not going to be able to like literally spam them out. So you want to use them to help out what you already got, especially what you're struggling with. And for hybrid, honestly, I just usually save them for a like emergency situation where we got to like either save our own game or use it to push back our opponents, or use it to not push back, like just win the game itself, right? The reversal is where it's like, you know, your opponents are starting to push it into your base, and then your stack is coming up, and you slam down a bunch of hybrid destroyers, which is the tier 1 one. The tier 1 one is good because it's like, imagine just buying a bunch of Hydralisk, except they're in hybrid form and they're very powerful, and then you can drop CC. That's sort of the whole reason, and then that can potentially win you a few games. I won a few games off of that by doing a strategy like that. So who do I think is good this week? I think in the S tier, well, I think Alarak is definitely going to be good in the sense that Alarak doesn't actually need any of the later tier Terran mercenaries like the Banshee, or I don't think he needs a tank. He has Wrathwalkers for that role. Once again, I'm advocating for Marines on Alarak because Havocs, if they paint a target, they make the target take 30% more damage.
The Marines, I think, with 2 weapon upgrades have 10 attack damage. So they basically get +3 attack damage. So you got like +13 attack damage from like a lot of them because they're pretty cheap energy-wise. Alarak really lacks a small spammable unit that you can use to, like, I don't know, chump block, for lack of a better term. You Magic players will know. But you're basically sending in the Marines as partially for DPS, partially to just soak damage randomly. And it's possible to just do that and have no chicken nuggets on Alarak and just go super greed on like Wrathwalkers or whatever backline stuff. Granted, you will need Wrathwalker. I mean, you will need chicken nuggets at some point if the game gets long enough. But this lets Alarak like save some money, which means that you can speed up his late game, which is the most lethal thing about Alarak. With Tychus, I think there's a variety of options, but you can either go Duskwings, which will be very good because it really messes with your opponent. Because most people who counter Tychus, like I don't know, not most people, but like let's say like what is it, like Swan, you got Cyclones, bam, meet Duskwings. Duskwings are gonna slap those Cyclones, or at least distract them, and then Tychus will cut through. If you have something like what is it, Artanis with Tempest, bam, meet Hell's Angels. I don't know, there's like a few other counters where it's like someone like you can just introduce these like mercenary heroes and then like suddenly Tychus is just even stronger than he used to be. So if you know what you're doing on Tychus, and you know the matchup, these extra mercenaries will help out a lot. So I think Tychus definitely S tier. Carax, I think, is actually insane this week if you decide to go to the skies. So Carax Air is only missing a capital ship killer. He's got a super tanky, high DPS frontline, known as the Mirage, and he's got a high DPS, super tanky carrier. So the only thing he needs is something that can get past anything that has more than 6 armor with a rapid speed. And that's where the Hell's Angel comes in. So, yeah. And I think Carax's death push with the beam still works, but you have to time it a bit better. And by time it better, I mean, like, you can't just drop it on your opponent's wave. You want to drop it on an opponent's stack, where, like, they've stacked up and they're coming in at you, and then you just slam it down on there. And yeah, and then also make sure you have hybrid coming out that wave. That's going to be pretty solid. I also think Manx is going to be S tier, because Manx actually lacks a Banshee. If Manx could have, like, you know, your standard swarm of boys, shock division, whatever, and then an attack like a gunship, basically. Manx does not have a gunship. If he had access to like a heroic, or like a Royal Guard Banshee, that'd be over. But now he has Dustwings. So those Dustwings are going to really help melt basically anything he's facing on the ground. In the skies, though, Manx will probably struggle a little bit more this week. If his Black Hammer can't take care of something, and if his Sky Fuse can't take care of something, Hell's Angels are really not going to do too much better, I'm going to say, because your opponent's also going to have Hell's Angels and or maybe have superior air to you. So in that aspect, Manx is going to be a little weaker, I think. But he's going to be hella strong on the ground. So if you can just like force your opponent to like do something about your boys supported by Banshees, then you don't have to worry about that part, I think. But yeah, even then I think flying tanks are still going to be really integral. I have yet to really build them, but I have been on the receiving end of flying tanks before, so I know how powerful they are. Now, in the A tier, we have commanders who are still pretty strong. I think Nova will do quite well. I think this time you can actually go DFG and skip your own heavy siege tank and instead go siege breakers, potentially. And or you can do, I would say you can do Banshees with like Dustwings. I think it might be smarter to do Dustwings. I don't foresee Nova really making use of the tier 1 like soldiers, like the Marines or the Marauders, because, well, Nova does both of them better if she needs to use them. And usually if she needs to use them, it's like there's a better choice. Like, so yeah. Nova's anti-air capabilities will go up because, you know, before all she had was literally a Liberator that would shoot air to air. There's no other air unit that she has that shoots air to air. So if she has to fight off an air enemy, the Hell's Angel will help out. Like, I'm talking about like a biological air enemy, or like a mothership, for example, that does not get stun locked by the Goliaths. So I'm looking at Abathur, actually, which I think he is also A tier because, well, Abathur Air kind of I think takes a little bit of a hit because now there's Hell's Angels, and Hell's Angels are very effective against Devourers. It just means that you'll probably need to get like a Leviathan or two, and then like your usual Viper, Devour. Actually, maybe you could just go Mutalisk if you're not against someone like Raynor who has got AOE in the air. But I think Abathur ground is still going to be really strong, as you guys saw there. The Ravagers, non-negotiably very powerful. I think you could probably complement your Roaches with Hammer securities in the early game. That might be a good choice, because your Ravagers are technically your siege tanks. If anything, I feel like they're slightly more effective. Though I think Siege Breakers would definitely be helpful. I think if you went for like a Swarm Host, like a little bit of Swarm Host and then some Siege Breakers, that could be very potent. Although I no longer like Swarm Hosts anymore because I can't do something really busted with them anymore. So that's why I never build them. Like once something gets nerfed, I'm like, nope, not worth it anymore. But that's just me. You guys can totally like play around with that too. Han and Horner I think is going to be very strong because Han and Horner also, ironically, like Manx, lacks a gunship that has high DPS, I would say. Like, yeah, you got a Wraith, but it's got small range. Yeah, you got the Galleon, but it doesn't really hit that hard. The Banshees are going to be very helpful, I think. And I guess you could go Hellbat Marine. Don't recommend it, though. You could also go Shock Division with, like, a lot of ground units. Also, I also don't recommend that unless you are against an opponent who is, like, you have to go ground against. Like, you just simply can't contest the air with. Like, for example, like Tychus. Those Shock Divisions probably aren't that great. I mean, Siege Breakers, sorry. They used to be called Shock Divisions, I think. I remember in the Wings of Liberty campaign or something like that. But yeah, Siege Breakers are not that great in Tychus once he gets Tier 3 Blaze. But without Tier 3 Blaze, they could be passable. It's just that Han and Horner has no ground survivability, so it's like the tanks are kind of a waste. If you just go to the skies, I think it'll be pretty powerful. Next, I think Borazun is going to be quite strong as well. Borazun, once again, suffers from the Karax problem, also known as, how do I kill a capital ship with large amounts of armor? Actually, the Void Rays can do it pretty nicely, but you can stealth your Hell's Angels as well, which is really good. And Hell's Angels can compete slightly better with some other anti-air units, I suppose. I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head. There was one unit. What is it? Oh, no. You know what it is? Sorry, not the Hell's Angels. Banshees. Banshees will take care of things like Marines that will be very good against Void Rays or Hydralisk. Hunter Horner, I mean, not Hunter. Vorazun's like Oracles have such a tiny range. Like, they just go in and, like, if your opponent has any amount of AoE, boom, dead. So I think that's going to be very good. Now, in the B tier, we have commanders who are, I think they'll be okay. Raynor actually got weaker, I would say. So let's look at Stukov. So Stukov, I think you could probably do like a bunker, like heavy front line, and then just slam shock divisions. I don't know if Dusk Wings will be useful for you, because I don't know. Stukov's air presence isn't really that great. Stukov's air presence is mostly like how strong his ground presence is and how many Diamondbacks you have. Unless you're against like Mutalisk, then you just buy Liberators. So yeah, I think Alexander might be a little bit weaker because of everyone having access to Hell's Angels to answer, and your own anti-air is Liberators, which have tiny range, so they're going to struggle a little bit. That being said, though, they're still really potent against Hell's Angels, but still, I don't know, Sukov's like in a middle spot, happy medium. Raynor, I think, actually got weaker because literally every Terran mercenary there helps his opponent much more than it helps him. The shock Siege Breakers, will smash up your bio line once like a few of them get going. So hooray. Hell's Angels makes it so that your Vikings no longer really have like a solid dominance, and you can't really shield as hard with battle cruisers. And Raynor doesn't really make use of the other ones too well. Like, I guess you could go like Raynor Bio with Duskwings and just try and run it down. But yeah, that's about it. Like, he doesn't really benefit too much from these guys. And also, like, if you get a hybrid death push coming in, Raynor's front line usually is not going to hold up to a bunch of hybrid. So that's also pretty bad. Although, Raynor does have some redeeming qualities, and, like, I think Death Fleet will be really powerful, and, like, Hyperion will be easier to get, which means, that can always keep you in the game for quite a bit of time. So, yeah. Next in the B tier, we have Stetman. I'm trying to envision what to do with Stetman this week. I feel like Stetman in the air is definitely just not going to happen because like Mecha Corruptors are not an air supremacy fighter at all. Adding a few Hell's Angels not going to do anything because your opponent's going to have those, and your Gary's probably going to get shot down. So what I'm thinking is with Stetman, you probably just want to slam like hardcore stack breaker, so like Baneling Ultralisk, and then I don't know if you should slam siege tanks. I want to say siege tanks, but I also feel like maybe you could just slam like Marines and Hammer Securities, because they'll be following right behind the Ultralisk and the Banelings. And the Banelings and Ultralisk will have like basically cleared a path for them. The siege tanks are a little bit too slow to keep up. Maybe you could go Banshees, actually. Banshees might be fast enough to keep up, but I don't know. I have to experiment. I'm not quite sure myself. But I definitely see Stetman doing very well on the ground. If your opponents start flying, though, it might be a little tough to deal with that one. So we'll have to see. Artanis, I think, is going to do very well on the ground. And I think okay in the skies. Oh, I'm going to say okay. So you can go Crusher Ground Artanis pretty nicely. You might be able to pass up Reavers for Siege Breakers instead. Which is great because you save a lot of money and you save a lot of like money just upgrading. I think like to fully upgrade like to tier 3, get all the Reavers bells and whistles. That's like 800 minerals, I believe, and then you gotta get a Reaver. So that's like 1,200 minerals for your first Reaver, basically for your first like fully suited Reaver. Or you can get some Siege Breakers for the energy on your Cantina. Artanis really isn't going to make use of any of the other ones. Like, why would I buy Hammer Securities? I don't need those. You can just buy Archons to counter everyone's Duskwings. Just boom, 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 feedback. They're all dead. And so Crusher Ground Artanis, I think, is going to be pretty good this week. In the skies, though, you'll probably... I don't know. Phoenixes are okay. They're actually pretty strong against Hell's Angels because they're light. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think if you build only Tempest, you might be struggling. Because I don't like Artanis has never struggled against like big capital ships or anything. It's just struggled against fighting against enemy air supremacy fighters, I think. But that's about it. Like, yeah, Tempest DPS is a little too low, but great against big boys. That's the thing. So yeah, I don't know. I'll probably just stick with the ground, unless your opponents make you fly. Then in that case, you'll have to make do. I guess, yeah. Dahaka, I think I really want to try like small Dahaka, like masked up small Dahaka, and then just slam down a bunch of Siege Breakers to follow up. I feel like that could be very powerful. I don't see Dahaka Air being any stronger though, because the Mutalisk, I don't know, I guess the Mutalisk backed up with Hell's Angels could be quite potent because the Mutalisk are just sort of frontline. So maybe I could be wrong, but you're definitely not going to be like you're definitely not going to dominate the skies by any means, but you'll probably be able to get on a lot better than you used to before. So yeah, I think Dahaka has a lot more potential on the ground though, because he is hella thick, and if you go like just mass driver, you can just push your way through. Now in the C tier we have my boy Swan. If you can somehow manage to keep your Siege Breakers alive, they do 170 damage at full weapon upgrades, so like 3/3 and the Maelstrom rounds. 170 damage, safe to say, is very good. The problem is, how do you keep them alive? That is actually Swan's question for like every time you play Swan. How do you keep your units alive? So yeah, it's gonna be a little harder too for you now because like, I don't know, everyone has access to Banshees, and then like you have to build, I guess, tier 3 Goliaths to solve that. Or actually, maybe Thors might be okay, but I don't know if they attack fast enough. And yeah, I don't know if like you'd ever want to go Wraith Hell's Angels. I don't think that's a good combo. I don't know if it is, like, because Wraiths, they're just basically Mutalists. They just clump up and then they'll boom die. You kind of need like a bigger boy. If only we could recruit like a mercenary battle cruiser or something. I don't know if that would help. But yeah, if you can survive with Swan, you can do pretty good. It's harder to survive this week though, so I don't know. Potential. If you know what you're doing, I think the high potential. Zagara here might have slightly better anti-air potential with Hell's Angels, and I'm thinking, I don't know if you would want to get Siege Breakers on Zagara. I feel like your wave wouldn't keep up. I feel like Dustwings would be probably the best buy. You could go Hammer Securities to help out, like, destroy enemy armor, and then like also like have them be slightly in front of your Hunter Killers. I think Hammer Securities have the same range as Hunter Killers, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe you want Marines instead. I don't know, something like that could be okay as well. Now in the D tier we have my boy Phoenix. Phoenix Air is gonna be harmed by Hell's Angel's existence. Although Phoenix's air to ground capacity will be buffed by the Banshees, so not bad. But Phoenix's ground units are just gonna suffer because, well, everyone's got Banshees. Phoenix doesn't really have a great answer to Banshees, from the ground at least. Like, Adepts have to walk up and then get blasted to shreds. So like ground Phoenix is gonna struggle. Although I have Phoenix in the D tier almost perpetually, but like, you know, there's like this time it's like, yeah, he got a better, but everybody else also got better. So it's like, you know, not really much of a change happened here. Marines, Marauders probably don't need that on Phoenix. You could probably go Siege Breakers. I don't know if your line will keep up. Like if it would be a good idea because they might be too slow. I think Banshees might be the most useful thing. And in the skies, like the Hell's Angels are just gonna give you a little bit of a problem. But yeah, Kerrigan is in the D tier, and I think probably significantly worse if your opponents make you go air. I think like Kerrigan's only air unit is the Mutalisk. Now you add Hell's Angels to it, so maybe it's like a little bit more passable. But if against a strong air commander, like, I don't know, I would say a strong air actually, you might still be able to dominate Karax this week with your Mutalisk. I don't know if Karax can actually fend you off. But yeah, it's like, Kerrigan has some really powerful air matchups, and like some matchups where it's just like, Lamau. Like Vorazun, for example. Meet Corsair. Hell's Angels, I don't think are going to do anything about those Corsairs. So yeah. I'm just looking at Kerrigan Air from like the perspective of like, does it make up for her weaknesses in that sense? Kerrigan Ground, Banshees would be very good to benefit that, and or some Hammer Securities, because I don't think she has any anti-armor on the ground besides Lurkers, and well, Lurkers don't exactly hit too fast, so you can be like Hydralisk, Hammer Securities, Ultralisk, and just barrel through everything. If your opponents decide to fight you on ground, I think you can probably do pretty well. If they decide to fly, you'd have to like really go into Mutalisk and Hell's Angels to maybe be able to beat them, and also use your ability. If you don't use your ability, Kerrigan Air is actually completely garbage without that ability. If you use it, then like at the right time with your hybrid, potentially game winning. So yeah, and let me know what you guys think. I don't think Kerrigan's completely out of the game yet, but it's like, it's gonna be a rough time. It's not gonna be an easy win for Kerrigan. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and until next time, I will see you guys later.
The tires! Let's light some fires! Need a light. They picked the wrong fight.